WYPA Up Radio with MC8. Steele and Big James has taken over the radio station.
Well, all right, y'all. All across the USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA. Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to Gangsta Chronicles.
Gangsta Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangsta Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Steele.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the James.
We'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of the Gangsta Chronicles podcast, and I'm with my homeboy,
Big James.
Yeah, you know, of course, MC8 is out there on the football field, coaching the kids to victory and stuff. He'll be back in next week. But before we get started tonight, I want to address a very, very serious situation. James recently lost his father, Mr. Quintus. Quintus Wilborn. And I know, James, you guys had kind of just got acquainted like later on in your life.
We really got acquainted at 22. He's always been around, and, you know, I always wondered why he was giving moms money and giving me money. And, you know, I just didn't put two and two together until my cousin, Christine, rest in peace, she basically told me, you know, that's your pop. This was at a younger age. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't put two and two together until I started going to Texas with my pops, James. Mm-hmm. And his family pretty much rejected me, was telling me I wasn't his son and I wasn't part of the family and all that shit. So
all the jealous stuff.
Yeah, I had to deal with that and, you know, always wondered why this dude didn't, you know, take up for me. Mm-hmm. So I learned to cuss them out, you know.
You learned to talk shit.
Oh, yeah, they was all bitches. They was everything under they was on everything under the table. They was bitches and everything to me. So I didn't have family like that out there. They didn't look at me like that, like they looked at my brothers.
Like, how is it now, though? I'm pretty sure it's changed now, by now, this time, huh?
No, well, you know, all of those people are gone now. His mother gone, he gone, his auntie gone. A lot of them are gone now. And, you know, I really don't talk to any of them, but, you know, I got two brothers. I still call them my brother, Anthony and Barry out there. But other than that, I don't really communicate with nobody.
Man, you know, hopefully y'all can change that dynamic, man, and get to know each other, you know, because family is a special thing, man. It can be a special thing. So I'm going to keep you up in prayers, brother, on that, man, that y'all find resolution and resolve in that, man. And, you know, it was a blessing at the age of 22, though, to get to meet your biological father. And that's a blessing, man, you know.
And we hit it off right off the top. You know, he was in the motorcycle club and then asked me, come on, son, I'd love to have you in the motorcycle club. You'll bring a lot to the bike set. And I was like, Pops, I'm still gangbanging this shit. I don't want to do that. I can't do them both. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just going up to the club and sitting back partying with him, mm-hmm. I went and bought a motorcycle. And I joined the club. And, you know, they wanted to give me special treatment because I was too sweet son, you know, full patch. I didn't want that. Mm-hmm. And man, son, I love that. Because you could have got a full patch just because of me, because you're my son. And, man, I love pulling up on the yard on my bike, and he out there, they drinking and kicking it, and, you know, right now today, still, you know, all the OGs, you know, they still got love for me, you know what I'm saying?
That's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. Receive that, dog. You know, receive that. That's a special thing, you know. But tonight, man, as always, man, we got somebody pretty special in the house, one of H-Towns' finest, one of the originators down there, and we go get into that tonight, Lil Troy. What's up with your partner?
What's going on, Steele? What's up, James? Hey, man, sorry for your loss, man, and keep your head up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro.
He'll want you to keep going. You feel me?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, man. You know, Troy, you got quite a history down there, man. I know you started Shortstop. What year did you start Shortstop Records?
1988.
So you and the other label across town, Rap A Lot, pretty much started around the same time then.
Yeah, like about a year before me, and but we all came up in the industry at the same time, learning, going through all the trials and tribulations, hard knocks, not knowing the music business. Got to go try to find a lawyer and pay him for his time to tell us certain things or not. We just figure out on our own. That's what I did. Mostly I figured this shit out on my own.
Yeah, most of the smart ones do.
Yeah.
Most of the smart ones do. And the first artist you had on the label was, if I'm correct me wrong, DJ Action, now known to the world as Scarface, correct?
Yeah, he was Scarface when he was with me.
Oh, he was Scarface. Oh, so we breaking news now. So Scarface was Scarface before he even got over to Rap A Lot.
Yeah. He started off as DJ Action when he first came to me, and then we did that song together. I started Small Time, Dope Gang, Cocaine, Pushing Rocks on the Block, Never Broke Man. When we did that song, he was talking about me and my little brother selling rocks on the block and stuff, in the village and the dead end and shit. So, and when we made that song, he said, nobody know my name, just call me Scarface. And then right then, we just started saying, you know what? That's your name, nigga, Scarface. We're going to call you Scarface, nigga. And that's how I started off. It's on the album cover, how we did it and everything. I got a bunch of us sitting on my Cadillac back in the dead end in the village and stuff with all kind of guns all on the cover, sitting on my Cadillac and shit, saying we were just living the part, what we doing in our neighborhood, my lifestyle. Because at first, Face was just 16 years old when he made that song. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't out there on the block selling no rocks or nothing. That's what we was out there doing, me and my little brother. So, we kept him hid a little bit and stayed with my mama, His Face used to live with my mom and stuff. My mom used to cook for him and everything, But
wow, okay.
Yeah, that's how I started out back then like that,
Okay, so y'all took care of it, but on this show, man, we like to keep it G at all times. We go definitely talk about the music because it's a big part of your life, but I want to go back through them corners, to them blocks, man, the streets that spawned Lil Troy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, now, where are you from? Are you from the 5th Ward? Is that the 5th Ward where you from?
South Park, the South Side. When you hear everybody say the South Side, the dead end, I originated out the dead end, you know what I'm saying? So I helped created the culture of what they doing now in the dead end.
Okay, I got you. And you started off like so many of us, you was out there hustling.
Hey, that's the only thing we knew at the time, you know what I'm saying? That's the only way we knew to get some money in order to try to fund our life, our family, and then we decided to start doing business. The only way we knew how to get some money was to go out there and hit the blocks, you know what I'm saying? Start selling rocks, and then you move up to 4.5 or 9 or bricks, and then you got them coming in.
Mm-hmm. That's how everybody started off pretty much. Yeah. I mean, we all from the hood. We all from the streets. So it was the hood before music. It was the hood before anything. Hood.
And my old man, rest in peace, my dad passed a while back too, you know what I'm saying? He was like next thing to God to me. He the one put me in the game. You know what I'm saying? My old man was a merchant seaman, so he used to go out on them ships to other countries and shit and bring all that work back for the Colombians here in town, right? Mm-hmm. So you get them from the Colombians over the country. And then you bring it back on the ship. He'll meet the ones he got to bring him to here, give it to him and stuff, right? And then when he showed me how to cook, taught me how to cook, I started cooking for him to let them know how good it was because they didn't know how to cook.
Oh, wow. So y'all was heavy in the game then.
Yeah, my old man put me down. So when I got ready and started making waves and needed more and more and more, I already had people I can go to because the old man was already connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me tell you this, Troy, because we know we got a whole bunch of mutual acquaintances, and you was definitely doing your thing. He's definitely verified, He's definitely verified and certified, and official like a motherfucker. Did you ever start feeling the heat? What made you want to diversify your portfolio and jump out the game? What incident happened that made you say, you know what, fuck this selling rock shit, I got to go do some other shit?
I would never fuck this selling rock shit to a long time, you know what I'm saying? Fuck that, I ain't gonna lie, man. It was I was making too much money in the streets and at the time to just up and stop. But I started doing music because I played music from the 3rd grade in school. And then my mom, my dad and them had bands. outside playing in nightclubs when I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. So I used to go to the clubs with them, and I'm at 11, 12, 13 years old, watching them play and stuff, and they practicing at the house. I'm playing in the band in school. So it was quite naturally, it was just in my blood. I was born to be a hustler and to a musician, you know what I'm saying, from my old man.
Okay. So it wasn't no come to Jesus moment, as they say, that made you say, you know what, fuck this, I got to get out the game. You didn't get robbed. You said you kept doing your thing.
I had to make enough money to put this music out, you know what I'm saying? We ain't about giving us no money. So that's, when you put out an album back then, studio time was high as hell. Studio time was not cheap. Wasn't no CDs, burn no song on no CD. We were burning songs on a 4-high VCR tape. When I put my first record out with Scarface, we burnt the music on a 4-high VHI video tape.
That's for sure. That's them ADATs. For them kids out there, they don't know nothing about everything on the laptop. That's the ADATs.
This before the ADAT. I ain't much talking about the ADAT. I gotta take you back for the ADAT.
Damn, before the ADAT?
A VCR tape is what I mastered Scarface song to and send it off to get it put on wax.
Wow.
A 4-high VCR tape.
You know what? That was the first big technology right there. That was the first big one. So you talk about going back then and everything was high as hell. It used to be to go to a recording studio back then, James, like 88, you was gonna spend every bit of anywhere from $75 an hour to up to $250.
Yeah, that's when I started. When I first met Scarface, him and Bruce Rose and Beto, you know what I'm saying? I'm hustling. So, they tell me he can rap. I listen to him on over the phone. I'm like, okay. I had that big old brick ass phone, you know what I'm saying? That big brick phone back then, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In 80. And I heard him, he was cool. And so me and Beto hooked up. Me and Beto, we was hustling though together, you know what I'm saying? Going out of town, selling rocks and packs and everything else all out of town. When you hear Ice Cube say 4 gangbangers, professional crack slangers, I just knew he had done peeped down my life and was talking about me, what I was doing down here. I'm like, how in the hell this nigga, that's what we do. We go hit a block, don't know nobody, out of town and set up shop. Only thing was different that we weren't gangbangers though, you know what I'm saying? I never played as Crip or Bloods or nothing, you know what I'm saying? I always just been a G, able to go wherever, fuck with whoever. About making some money, let's make some money.
Well, I'd love to hear how you did that, to go in somebody else's neighborhood just fresh off the bus, out the car, and then pull up and start slanging. Now you open up shop. I know you had a lot of enemies trying to do that there.
Nah, cause when you bring that work and you making sure everybody eat, they love you from out of town.
Okay, but see, that's what it was. You was passing it and looking out for everybody.
Yeah.
Had them working.
Yeah, I had made sure that when I got on the block, I find a nigga who's really making it, who doing it, I put him in.
Right.
And make sure he put everybody else in. You know what I'm saying? And okay, I'm going to be out there too. I'm going to get mine, but we got what you need. You need another house? And whatever. Here you go. And I ain't just bust them over the head all the time like that. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to finesse my way in the game with motherfuckers and peoples and shit. You know what I'm saying? I try to come in and strong arm and just take over and like I'm Now I'll get on, but if I don't have to, and I can get this money quiet as possible and move on, that's what I do.
Smart man.
Shit, that's the best way right
that's
there.
That's the way to get down.
That's the best way to get down. So what was your spots, Troy? What parts, that's a long time ago, statute of limitations. Where were you allegedly at? What different spots was you hitting? What was your hot spots?
All over Texas, mostly Port Arthur, South Side, North Side, or Southwest Side. I just go wherever, man, because, my nuts just hung in my socks. But I know I had a good mouthpiece, and I know how to treat people and talk to people and make sure we got that money. It was all gravy. When you come over to another neighborhood or somewhere else, sometimes they know of you. You know what I'm saying? People heard, oh, I heard of Lil Troy. Yeah, okay, that's such. Lil Troy. So they be like, all right, what the nigga got going on? And when I present this money to them, how we gonna make this money together? Hey, everything got to go out the window. And at the time, Bloods and Crips weren't real big down here. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't really have that said like, you can't go over here because you gone blue. You can't go over here because you gone red. It wasn't that bad when I first jumped in the game back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And I just stayed neutral the whole time. So right now, you can be at my house back then at my studio, I have Bloods and Crips in the house at the same time. We all hustling together. Ain't nobody starting no shit because they know I'm neutral. When you come fuck with me, hey, it's all about money. We OGs. We make us money, all right? We hustlers. And that's where I carried myself the whole entire time. I ain't disrespect them. They ain't disrespect me. They showed me love. That's how I just roll, man. I still roll that way right now today.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, big dog. You mentioned the Crips and the Bloods, and I know they both deep down in Texas, all through Texas, ain't they?
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they deep through Texas. When did you notice, what year did you notice the gangs like that starting to infiltrate like Texas?
Really like 93, 92, 93, 94. They really started getting real deep down there then, 93, 94. My little brother, he was a 5 Deuce Hoover. You know what I'm saying? And he went to prison at 92. And I went in 91. He went in 92. And I got out at 93. He was a 5 Deuce Hoover. And all his Hoover friends, Sam and all them big boys that was known, that were ranked up. When I come home, you know, later on, they was like, man, your little brother done put in so much work with us, bro. Whatever you need, man, you just holler, man. You got us, man. I said, y'all know I don't play it. I ain't like that. They said, no, OG, you done made your way already, bro. You ain't got to. I said, all right, fine then. You know what I'm saying? My little brother right now still locked up from 1992. Done did life sentence. You know, they got life sentence right now.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that, man. Like so many of us, man, locked in them cages, dog.
Yeah.
And you know, now when that first came down there, did that meet any resistance? Because I remember, like, and this is going back further. I'm originally from Cleveland.
Okay.
In Cleveland, what happened with us, it was a whole bunch of LA cats that came. Now, and what was funny, it was like all the Bloods came into Akron, Ohio. All the Crips went into Cleveland, which is a bigger city, but the Bloods kind of locked down them smaller little cities around, you know, around the big cities. Like they wouldn't go into Columbus. They would be in Bath, Ohio, or somewhere, Dayton, Ohio, like them other little off-brand places. But I noticed more of them start coming through. Did they come down there on a hustling tip?
They came down hustling. You know, I have not one time in my whole entire life gotten to it with a Blood or a Crip. In my whole entire life of being out here in these streets, and I've been in the streets. Mm-hmm. Not one time. They came down here, they was like more, they started what they was doing, but they respected us hustling because we was more, H-Town niggas was down there hustling together. You know what I'm saying? We would go hustle from, take work to different side of town. They side of town would come get work or whatever. We wouldn't own that at the time. You know what I'm saying? For us, me and my clique and my crew and the niggas I fuck with, we wasn't worrying about red or blue. Let's get this green.
I heard the fuck out of that.
It was never an issue with me. You know what I'm saying? I guess I got blessed to be one of the ones that never had an issue with nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? For us, no gang affiliated.
Well, to be real, you know, to be honest with you, and James, you probably could attest to this. Usually the guys that get caught up is the guys that be out there and there's some shit they ain't got no business into anyway. Cats that usually remain neutral and minding their own, they really don't have too much to worry about often.
Well, a lot of this shit came when the homies just started bringing homies out there just to kick it. Mm-hmm. Them the ones that was hanging out or going to the store starting shit with other people. They were not there selling dope or nothing. They just out there to kick it, and then they wind up living there. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, because it's totally different from being in the hood. See, in the hood, you couldn't get away with all that shit. You go out of town, like going to Denver. You know, when we went to Denver, you know, it was some homies out there that shouldn't have been out there. You know what I'm saying? So I bring two of the homies to come kick it. Now he bringing two of the homies to come kick it. Now they just hanging out doing their thing. Yeah. You know, the gang banging thing. And that kind of fucked it up. If the hustlers just stayed hustling and left the homies where they at, the game would have been, it would have stayed tighter.